A Russian researcher walks into a sealed chamber, expecting to see his 5 test subjects alive and well. Instead, he steps into pure horror. Screams of agony echoed through the room. In front of him lies a body torn apart and eviscerated, as if the Antichrist had visited. The surviving men have chunks of flesh ripped from their arms and legs, with exposed bone at the tips of their fingers. Their faces are stripped of skin. What kind of madness is this? The researcher thinks. This nightmare was never part of the plan. The story begins in the late 1940s, during the Soviet era. Researchers had developed a powerful stimulant gas they believed could keep soldiers awake for extended periods. During World War II, Germans used Pervitin, while Americans and British relied on amphetamines like Benzedrine. The Soviets wanted something better, a substance that would maintain alertness far longer without total collapse afterward. They chose 5 prisoners of war as test subjects. In that era, ethical rules were icily ignored when it came to pose. The men were placed in a specially built sealed chamber, equipped with dried food, basic beds, running water, and a toilet. Researchers could pump the stimulant gas inside while monitoring oxygen levels. Microphones and cameras allowed them to observe. The subjects were told they would be freed if they stayed awake for 30 days. They agreed eagerly. For the first 3 days, everything went smoothly. The gas worked perfectly, and the men remained in good spirits. One researcher even joked to another, "Nazi meth. What a joke. Just wait until the world sees what we've created. Stalin will be proud." Around day 4, the mood darkened. The men began discussing the horrors of war, traumas, nightmares, and terrible memories. By day 5, signs of psychosis appeared. They talked to themselves and to things that weren't there. Paranoia grew, whispered accusations about each other into the microphones. Researchers knew sleep deprivation could cause hallucinations after just 5 days, but they wondered whether the gas itself was making things worse. On day 9, one subject suddenly started screaming and running wildly around the chamber. He howled like a banshee until his voice gave out, reduced to a pathetic squeak. A few days later, an eerie silence fell. The cameras could no longer see the men clearly. Oxygen readings confirmed all 5 were still breathing, but their location inside the room was unknown. Concerned, the researchers decided to open the chamber on day 15. They announced over the intercom, "We are opening the door to check the microphones. Lie flat on the floor, or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you immediate freedom," a single voice replied coldly. "We no longer want to be freed." The researchers were stunned. They vented fresh air into the chamber to clear the gas. Immediately, the men began screaming and begging desperately for more of the stimulant. When the door finally opened, the scene was horrific. One man was dead, his body mutilated. The survivors had torn chunks of flesh from their own bodies. Some had ripped skin and muscle from their chests, exposing their lungs. Internal organs lay scattered on the floor like grotesque art pieces. The men were actually eating parts of their own bodies. The wounds appeared largely self-inflicted. The researchers called for military backup, too afraid to approach. When soldiers entered to extract the subjects, chaos erupted. One test subject ripped a soldier's throat out. Another attacked so violently that a soldier lost his testicles. In total, 5 soldiers died during the struggle. Some victims later took their own lives from the trauma. The 3 surviving subjects fought like wild animals. One continued screaming, "Give me gas. I need gas," even as his heart stopped from blood loss. Doctors struggled to treat them. During surgery on one man, he smiled at a nurse and later wrote on a pad, "Keep cutting," laughed maniacally and demanded the gas, saying he simply needed it to stay awake. A former KGB agent suggested an idea: put the men back on the gas. He argued the worst behavior occurred during withdrawal. Once exposed to the stimulant again, the subjects calmed down. However, their EEG monitors soon showed wildly erratic brain activity that eventually flatlined. One died shortly after. The final surviving subject was returned to the chamber, along with a few researchers. Suddenly, one researcher panicked, shot the commander, and then shot the subject. He shouted, "I won't be locked in here with these things. What are you? I must know." The wounded subject replied calmly, "Have you forgotten so easily? We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis, when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. Grammatical errors and awkward phrasing suggest it was written hastily by an amateur storyteller. More importantly, the events defy basic biology and medicine. A person cannot survive after ripping out vital organs. Severe blood loss and shock would cause immediate death, not continued activity or flirtatious behavior. No known gas can keep humans awake for 15 days, while turning them into self-cannibalizing zombies. Historical records show no evidence of such an experiment. Wartime stimulants existed, Pervitin for Germans, Benzedrine for Allies, but none approached the effects described here. Even heavy amphetamine use typically allowed only 24 to 36 hours of wakefulness. Pentagon studies confirm that after 48 hours without sleep, cognitive performance drops dramatically, making troops unreliable in combat. Conditions like Morvan's syndrome or fatal familial insomnia can cause severe insomnia and delirium. But they involve microsleeps and never lead to organ removal or cannibalism. Nothing in scientific literature supports the existence of a gas with these properties. If such a substance had been developed, it would have appeared in medical journals long before becoming an internet urban legend. The story originated on a website known for publishing scary fictional tales, not from any declassified Soviet documents. It is highly implausible that a single anonymous writer would possess more secret information than major intelligence agencies. While sleep deprivation itself is a real form of torture that can drive people to the brink of madness, the added elements of an addictive miracle gas, self-evisceration, reanimation, and philosophical monologues push the tale firmly into horror fiction. The Russian sleep experiment is an entertaining creepypasta, but it remains pure fiction. Sleep deprivation is horrifying enough on its own, without needing supernatural stimulants or zombie-like behavior. If you enjoy scary internet stories, there are plenty of other well-crafted tales that explore the terror of the human mind more believably.